Tyler had known Marcus for 2 years now. Same apartment building, same parking lot, same Tuesday morning trash day. And in those 2 years, Tyler had built a complete profile of his neighbor. Marcus drives a 2014 Honda Accord, silver, 1 hubcap missing. Marcus wears the same 5 shirts on rotation. Marcus's apartment furniture? Tyler had seen it once through the door. Looked like it came from a college dorm room in 2009. So when Tyler ran into Marcus at the mailbox last week, and Marcus mentioned he'd just paid off his investment property in cash, Tyler laughed. Out loud. He thought it was a joke. It was not a joke. Marcus, the guy with the missing hubcap, was worth $4.3 million. And Tyler was about to learn why the richest person he knew looked the most broke. Here's what Tyler, and almost every American, gets wrong about wealth. We have been trained since childhood to read wealth visually. Nice car, nice watch, nice house, designer clothes. Our brain sees these signals and instantly calculates rich. It is automatic, it is fast, and it is wrong almost every single time. Because here is what those visual signals actually measure. Not wealth, spending. A car is not an asset showing you how much money someone has. A car is a receipt showing you how much money someone recently gave away. The flashier the receipt, the more money left the building. Researchers Thomas Stanley and William Danko spent over 20 years studying actual millionaires in America for a book called The Millionaire Next Door. And what they found broke almost every assumption people had. The average millionaire in their study did not look like a millionaire. They drove modest cars, often used. They lived in middle-class neighborhoods. They wore ordinary clothes. Many of their own neighbors had no idea how much money they had. Meanwhile, many of the people driving the luxury cars and wearing the expensive watches had almost no net worth at all. High income, high debt, high spending, zero accumulated wealth. This gap has a name now: stealth wealth. And once Tyler understood it, he could not stop seeing it everywhere.
Tyler knocked on Marcus's door that same evening. He had questions. Marcus let him in. The apartment was exactly as unimpressive as Tyler remembered. Same couch, same dorm room shelf, a small television that was definitely not a smart TV. Tyler sat down and just said it. How? Marcus smiled, the same calm smile Tyler remembered from their first AI conversation 2 years ago, and said something Tyler would never forget. He said, "Tyler, the year I made my first $100,000, I was still driving a car worth $4,000. People thought I was struggling." Tyler asked the obvious question, why not upgrade? You could afford it. Marcus's answer was simple. Because every dollar I don't spend proving I'm successful is a dollar that goes to work making me actually successful. He pulled out his laptop, the same one from their AI lessons, and opened a spreadsheet Tyler had never seen. 3 columns: income, lifestyle, the gap. Marcus said, "Tyler, almost everyone tracks income. Almost nobody tracks the gap. The gap is the only number that actually builds wealth." Marcus opened the spreadsheet wider and showed Tyler 2 columns side by side. Column 1, a coworker of Marcus's. Same job, same salary, $110,000 a year. That coworker drove a $65,000 truck, lived in a luxury apartment downtown, $3,000 a month, ate out 5 nights a week. His gap, the space between what he earned and what he spent, was almost zero.
Some months it was negative. Column 2, Marcus, same $110,000 salary. Marcus drove that $4,000 Honda, lived in this exact unimpressive apartment, $1,200 a month, cooked at home most nights. His gap was $58,000 a year. Now here's where it gets interesting. Marcus did not just save that $58,000. He invested it every year into index funds, a rental property, and a small business he consulted for using exactly the AI skills Tyler had learned in their first conversation. Year 1, $58,000 invested. Year 5, with compound growth and reinvestment, that became roughly $390,000. Year 10, over $900,000. Add a paid-off rental property worth $200,000 and a consulting business worth another $400,000, and you arrive at Marcus's actual number.
$4.3 million. Built almost entirely by a gap his coworker never had. Same salary, same 10 years. One man is worth $4 million. The other is starting over at zero. Now, Tyler asked the question everyone asks at this point, but doesn't the truck guy look more successful? Marcus laughed, not unkindly, and said, Tyler, that's the trap. That's the entire trap. Psychologists call it conspicuous consumption, a term coined over a century ago by economist Thorstein Veblen. It describes spending money specifically to display wealth or status to others, rather than for the actual usefulness of the thing. Here is the cruel irony built into conspicuous consumption. The people who need to display wealth the most are usually the people who have the least of it. Because true financial security doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need approval. A $4 million net worth doesn't care if your neighbor is impressed by your car. But a stressed, over-leveraged income desperately needs the truck, needs the watch, needs the validation. Because the bank account can't provide the confidence, so the driveway has to. Marcus put it the simplest way Tyler had ever heard. He said, Tyler, broke people finance status. Rich people fund freedom. They look like opposite strategies. They are actually opposite priorities wearing the same paycheck. And here's the part that should terrify every viewer watching this right now. You cannot tell which one you're looking at just by looking. The only way to know is the gap. Marcus turned the laptop toward Tyler. New tab, same spreadsheet template, blank. He said, Your turn, Tyler. Let's see your gap. Tyler's income, after his first AI client work from their previous lessons, was now around $5,000 a month. Combined with his old job, call it $60,000 a year. His lifestyle? Tyler started listing it out, and with every line, his face changed. Apartment, $1,800 a month, nicer than he needed. A car payment on a vehicle he financed the week he got his first big client check, $450 a month. Food delivery apps. Tyler did the math live and felt his stomach drop. $600 a month on delivery fees and tips alone. A gym membership he had used 4 times. A streaming subscription stack he couldn't even name all of. Tyler's gap, the number that was supposed to build his future, was $180 a month. Marcus didn't say anything for a moment. He just let the silence do the talking. Then he said, Tyler, you just learned how to make more money than you've ever made in your life, and your gap is smaller than your phone bill. More income without a wider gap, Marcus said, is just a more expensive version of broke. Tyler sat with that for a long moment. Then he asked the question that actually mattered. Okay, so how do I fix it without living like you? No offense, but I don't want to drive a 15-year-old Honda forever. Marcus laughed again. Fair. Here's the actual rule. It's not about deprivation. It's about sequencing. He explained it like this. Most people upgrade their lifestyle the moment money arrives.
Stealth wealth delays the upgrade on purpose and invests the difference until the asset is large enough that it doesn't matter anymore. Marcus said, "I'm not telling you to drive a bad car forever, Tyler. I'm telling you to drive a bad car for 5 years, so you can drive any car you want for the next 50. Then he gave Tyler one number that reframed everything. He said, "Every time you're about to make a lifestyle purchase, ask one question. Not, can I afford this? Almost everyone can technically afford almost everything on credit. Ask instead, what does this purchase cost me in 15 years if I had invested it instead?" That $600 a month in food delivery, invested at a reasonable historical market return over 15 years, becomes roughly $240,000. Tyler didn't say anything. He just stared at the number. Marcus said quietly, "That's not a burrito, Tyler. That's a house down payment wearing a delivery bag." Marcus closed the laptop and said one final thing. He said, "Tyler, here's the real secret nobody tells you. Stealth wealth isn't about hiding money. It's about removing your identity from your spending. Most people's self-worth is tangled up with their net worth's appearance. New car arrives, they feel successful for exactly as long as the new car smell lasts. Then the feeling fades, and they need the next purchase to feel it again. Wealthy people who stay wealthy break that wire completely. Their identity comes from their progress, their gap, their compounding number, going up quietly in the background that only they can see." Marcus stood up and walked Tyler to the door.
He said, "You don't have to choose between success and looking successful, Tyler. But you do have to choose which one comes first, because only one of them compounds." Tyler walked back to his own apartment that night and looked at his car in the parking lot differently than he ever had before. It wasn't an asset. It was a receipt. Let's bring this full circle. 2 men, same building, same income range, same starting point. One spent his way into the appearance of success. One invested his way into $4.3 million while driving a car with a missing hubcap. The difference was never the income. The difference was the gap, and whether their identity was wired to their spending or to their progress. You will meet someone this week who looks rich and isn't, and someone who looks ordinary, who is sitting on more money than you could imagine. The only question that matters is which one you're building toward. Calculate your own gap this week. Income minus lifestyle. Write down the real number. It might be the most uncomfortable spreadsheet you ever open. It might also be the most important one. See you in the next one.